Time here tonight. First, I would like to thank everyone for coming here tonight to make Breanna's and Doug's wedding extra special. Me and Bree go back to freshman year of high school. It may not seem that long to most people, but the shenanigans we've gotten ourselves into are more than enough for an entire lifetime. I'll spare you the details, mostly because everyone's parents are here. When Breanna met Doug, I knew this was going to be a forever kind of thing, even if they didn't really know when it started. Everybody's love story is beautiful, but theirs is definitely my favorite to talk about. The happiness he's brought in her life is something most people can only imagine in a fairy tale. Imagine Cinderella and Prince Charming meeting at Northgate. Northgate is where me, Breanna, and Doug work. I'll never forget the day Doug came up to my car at work and showed the ring to me and told me he was planning on proposing to my best friend. Keeping this a secret from Breanna for a whole week was the hardest part, because God knows we tell each other everything. So when she called me with the news that she was engaged, she was more shocked that I was able to keep that a secret from her. Fast forward 2 years full of craziness, excitement. Here we all are to celebrate their future lives with one another. So here's a toast to the future for my best friend and the best guy I could ask for her to spend the rest of happily ever after with.
Toast. Very good.
All right. A little nervous here. We got a first timer.
First
So,
time.
yeah. Pipe down back there, Warren. Yeah. No, so I was looking, for inspiration, for best man speeches and that. So I went on the internet and kind of got a, an outline type deal, to get some inspiration. So I went online to get an outline just to see where I was at. So I guess here we go. I'm so happy to be here today on this very hot Texas afternoon to celebrate the marriage of Leroy and Latoya. No, that ain't right. No, that was one of the ones that I was referring to. Right. The next, no, hold on. Bunch of these. If that's wrong, a bunch of these are wrong. Hold on. That's wrong. That ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work. Here we go. Yeah, here we are. I'm so happy to be here. Honest to God, Bree and Doug, I love you guys. You know that. I really am honored, Dougie, that I'm your best man. You really only had 2 choices, so it was kind of a coin toss, but I appreciate it. So Doug and I and Chris, we always love nothing more than a laugh, and my biggest passions, cars, trucks, motorcycles, all that, and I got that from Doug. When I was a kid, he always kind of drove that into my head, kind of made me, know what was cool, what wasn't, made me hate Honda motorcycles and anything with, 4 cylinders and that. So I really do, and I'm very grateful for that because now I know it's cool. That's very nice of you. So Doug always had, mini bikes, dirt bikes, snowmobiles, all that. He'd always let me ride them, and that was, at that age, that's, nothing cooler than that. So we always had a ball doing that. The PE 175, the CR 80 going up on that hill at Golden Pheasant, bogging it out, beating the shit out of it, beating it up pretty good. So we always had fun. So but anyway, me, Chris, and Doug here, we always love to laugh, even at inopportune times. So we can find funny in just about anything, as awful as it may be. So, I'm not gonna go there. I thought that it sounded good on paper, but it probably so. But anyway, we'd be us 3 clowns would be in the back of the Chevy Van 20, And, you know, like children do, we were laughing. And then we'd hear my dad say, "Knock it off!" And, you know, we would then shut our mouth for the remainder of the drive and get home. And when we got back to our rooms, we'd all laugh again that my dad apparently hates the sound of children's laughter. And we thought that was the funniest thing ever. We still laugh about that to this day. My dad hates, Dad, where are you? If he heard laughter,
There's Dad.
he would start swiping in the back and telling us to shut the hell up because he knew we were up to no good. So yeah, oh yeah. Well, Chris just here reminded me. You might have not heard that on the mic, but he was another thing that this is not written. Chris just reminded me here. He was famous for ripping plugs out of the wall, even if it cost him an outlet that he'd have to then replace because he ripped it out sideways. So anyway, thanks, Dad. But no, I do. I appreciate Doug always including me. You know, him and his buddies would go out and party and, you know, and ride dirt bikes or this or that. And he'd always bring me along. And I never felt like out of place or a younger brother. I just felt like one of the guys. So I do appreciate that, Dougie. Oh boy. Let's see, where are we at here? Yeah. So, hold on. Oh, here we are. So speaking of that, hanging out, you know, as one of the guys doing, you know, all sorts of nonsense. You know, I figured I'd tell a few stories. Uh-oh. Let's see what we can get away with.
Let's see before the crowd turns.
So, Dougie, what about the time, well, the Dollar General when you had an upset stomach? No, that won't work. Now, some of you may know this story, and you know this is not the time or place. What about the time behind the plaza that Geo Metro jumped in front of your truck in a brick wall? No, that won't work. The time you drove your Buick Regal from Hopkins to Miller without ever touching the asphalt? No, that won't work. Here we go. No. Here's a story here's a nice one. This was about, 5-6 years ago. Me and you went down to Haiti for that missionary work. The time me and Doug went down to Haiti to do missionary work. Chris was there too. The three of us, we went down to Haiti to do missionary work. What a trip that really was. What a rewarding trip, really. It was beautiful. You know, we went down to Haiti and building houses, you know, for the people who need houses, and feeding the hungry, which was great. What's that?
People who need
Habitat for Humanity. Building, feeding the hungry, clothing the unclothed.
the unclothed.
The Lord.
Missionary, essentially, missionary. But no, that was all going phenomenal until we ended up getting kicked out of there because Doug was jumping in the volunteer vehicles and doing neutral bombs and brake torquing and popping tires left and right, just beating the hell out of their volunteer vehicles. So that's where our missionary work stopped. So, no, but here's one real story. One of the best memories me and Dougie had when I was 14, like the guiding brother you are, he used to take me up to Mints up in Canada. 14 years old, he'd go into Mints and then pretend he forgot something and then give me his ID, even though I looked like a heavy-set Native American girl, and then I'd go in behind him. So Doug, for bringing me to Mints at the age of 14, I truly thank you. We had a lot of fun. Thanks, buddy. That was a lot of fun. Thank you.
We had so much fun.
So, and now here we are with my new sister, right, Bree? No. So when I first heard about Bree, it was Doug talking about he met this girl, and she's amazing. She's this. She's just not actually kind of annoying. He would not shut up about this girl, and I had never met her. I'd never seen her. Nothing. So I said, oh, okay, that's cool. I'll be the judge of that, basically. So, and then I'd see him. That was like their first encounter. And then a few weeks later, I seen him, and he goes, dude, I think she likes me. We're flirting a little bit, and this and that. And he was just crazy about it. So, and then they ended up dating and seeing each other. And then the first time that I met her, remember when I was out Blacktop Ceiling and I stopped at your house? It's the first time I met Bree. A little skeptical, just because we'll see. And she came out and immediately I was like, this chick is really cool. And Doug really talked her up, so she had a lot to live up to, but she's really, really something.
Thanks, us.
The second time I met her, she already started like making fun of me and busting my balls a little bit.
Welcome.
So I was like, okay, we can work
welcome
with
for
this.
that.
And about the third time that I met Bree, she already felt like my
I'm
sister.
the parent. You're welcome.
So
No, little baby.
me and Bree tease each other, I guess you can put it mildly. If any of you know, she's pretty brutal. She's pretty brutal.
Runs in the family.
Yeah. So, Bree, I really am just thrilled to have you as a sister. I could not ask for better.
Aww.
And I do consider you my sister. And I love you. I love both of you guys.
Aww. This is so sweet. Aw, they're all crying. All the brothers are crying. How cute.